Okay, moving on to the back of the notes. Now, there's 3 examples. These are rather lengthy problems, but if you break them down and you follow what I'm doing here, they're pretty simple. Okay, so let's do the first example 6 here. Once again, as you look at this problem, the things I see here as I go through each of these fractions is I see a lot of problems that I can factor. Okay, and that's what this whole unit's been about, factoring. So you know how to factor. So if we look at this first one, this is factoring leading coefficient of 1. That's 10.2. This one is just basic factor, which would be 10.1, just pulling out the GCF. This one's factoring of a perfect square, which is 10.4. This one's 10.3, factoring with a leading coefficient greater than 1. And then that would be 10.1, and then we have to rewrite this one, so we'll wait for that one at the end. All right, so right off the bat here, what times what will give me -3, and add to give me -2? Make my 2 parentheses, put my x's in front. I know that in order to get -3 and add together get -2, I'm going to use x minus 3, x plus 1. Okay, because when you multiply those together, you get -3. When you add them together, you get -2. So that's correctly factored. Now this one down here, I'm pulling out a GCF. So I'm going to pull a 3 and an x, so they're in both terms. That comes out front, and I'm left with x minus 2. All right. Next up, the perfect square one. Remember, 2 parentheses. You know that the signs in both parentheses are going to be plus and negative. Since it's x squared, we know that the front's going to be x. Now it's just, well, what's my perfect square? Well, 4, that means 2 times 2. So we use 2 and 2. Leading coefficient greater than 1. So now we have to do the kung fu method, which I'm going to do down here. So we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Remember, kung fu method, a times b. Drop the a. 2 times 3 is 6, so replace the c. Now we're factoring like normal, so 2 parentheses. X is in front. What times 1 gives me 6, and that's going to be 7. Well, that's plus 6 plus 1. We're not done yet, though. We got to bring back the a we dropped off underneath the numbers. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then the 2 goes in front of the x plus 1 because it's just not reduced anymore. So this would be the correct factored form, which will go up here. So we have x plus 3, 2x plus 1. All right, almost there. The last fraction here that we have to factor, once again, look for like terms. The only thing common between these 2 terms would be x. So I can pull an x out front, which leaves me with an x, would be a 2x plus 1. Okay? And then this bottom one, this is the one I said we have to kind of look at. Notice, they're basically written backwards from these other ones. We always want to have the x squared in front to factor it. So we're going to rewrite stuff. You just got to pay attention to the signs. So this is a negative x squared. So I'm going to write down here because we're going to factor it. So negative x squared, positive x, so plus x, and a positive 6, so plus 6. So this will be the rewritten form of what that is right there. Now, you don't want to factor this trinomial with a negative in front. So we're going to pull a negative out. So -1 goes out front. It's just basically going to change all the signs here. So this negative becomes a positive x squared, this positive becomes a negative, and this positive becomes a negative as well. Now we can factor this, and this is rather simple. We have 2 parentheses, we have x in each parentheses, -1's out front. What times what gives me -6 and adds to give me -1? That would be a -3 and a positive 2. -3 times 2 gives you -6. -3 plus 2 gives you -1. So we're going to write this part here. So we have -1, x minus 3, x plus 2. All right. Now we've gone through and we've factored everything now. We've rewritten these things. So now we can start canceling stuff out and rewriting it. I just messed up my beautiful blue marker. So what we're working on now is canceling things out. So when I look at these top parts, I'm just going to start looking across and trying to find the same thing down here because I know I can cancel those out. Alright, so the first thing I look at here is I see an x minus 3 up here, and then I see an x minus 3 right there. So I know that I can cancel this out. Next one, x plus 1. Do I see an x plus 1 down here? No. So that's staying. X plus 2. Do I see an x plus 2 here? Yep. So these cancel out. Alright, x minus 2. Oh, right there. So that cancels out. And then the last one is 2x plus 1. And here's a 2x plus 1. So we know those cancel out. So now whatever's left, we're going to multiply and make a new equation over there. So x plus 1 and x is left on top. So we know that this is going to be x times x plus 1. Okay, on bottom, we have 3x, x plus 3, and a negative 1. So it's going to be a negative 3x times x plus 3. Alright, now we have to ask ourselves, are we truly done? Have we done everything we need to do? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Nope, I'm right. You still recording?
Mm-hmm.
We're still recording, guys. Still going. Alright, so last part here is just look at this and say, well, I have an x and a negative 3x. Can I cancel anything out? And the answer is yes. This x and this x can cancel each other out. And then we'll finally be done because the answer will be x plus 1 over negative 3 times x plus 3. And then that will be the final answer.